can start to attack the rim. Not the quickest guard in the world, but if that jumper is falling, you have to respect it. He is quick enough to get past you. He is the engine that makes this offense go.
Well, for the Golden Flashes, it's been a different man in the season's first 7 games, and then entered Jalen Walker.
Well, he missed the first 5 games of the season, so you had to wonder, would it take him time to adjust? How about this? First 2 games back, it combined 58 points, including 36 a couple nights ago at Detroit. This young man will put on a show. If the outside shot is working, which it has so far this season, shooting 50% from beyond the arc, he is absolutely unstoppable. He will be the main focus of the Spartans' defense tonight.
Let's take a look at Norfolk State's starting 5, as submitted by head coach Robert Jones in his 6th season. You see Thomas, Kelly, Long, Whitley, and Butler will round out his starting 5. We talked about Thomas. He started in all 9 games. Avery for KSU has done the same, as Avery is joined on the court by Williamson, Williams, Peterson, and Whittington. 3rd straight game, Jalen Walker will come off the bench. Glad you're with us on this Saturday afternoon. Golden Flash is trying to start this month like they ended last month with a victory. 6 up and 1 down. Only loss coming to Liberty. Quez Crawford, Keith Fogelman, Mo Kincaid, the officials, and we're underway from the Mack Center. Kent State today going with the script flashes and the gold uniforms. NSU in the green. 2nd meeting in a row. These 2 teams met in Virginia a year ago, right around this time. Whittington with a spin. And Butler has the first rebound of the game. Stephen Whitley, he's a hometown guy, redshirt junior out of Norfolk. And the pass intended down low on the baseline for Long is too strong and out of bounds. Here is a look at Robert Jones. In fact, these 2 coaches, very good friends. Robert Jones out of the State University of New York at New Paltz in 2002. He was with Rob Senderoff at Indiana, these 2 good friends, and decided, you know what, let's play a home and home, and this is the back half of it. The Golden Flash has got a win on the road. It was one of only 2 road wins for Kent State a year ago, coming in the Commonwealth, and they've obviously surpassed that now this year with 3 already, 3-0. Avery runs the show for the Golden Flashes. Shot clock down to 5. Peterson is running out of time.
Mitch Peterson got to be aware at all times, wasn't there, and that's Kent State's first turnover.
Rob Senderoff, the other end of that bench, working in his 8th year. He continues to add victories to his all. 145 wins. He's the skipper of the Golden Flashes. Scoreless game. C.J. Kelly tried to change that, but he's not able to do so, and the Golden Flashes coming back.
That's the shot that Kent State wants the Spartans to take. Only a 32% three-point shooting team on the season.
90 seconds in. The lid remains on both buckets so far. Nice defense down on the baseline as Whitley takes it right away from Whittington and then walked the tightrope on that baseline, did not step out.
Not the same start offensively for Kent State as Thursday night. They started up 9-0 against Detroit. The ball was moving, it wasn't sticking. We've seen some of that here, but just sloppy play.
Now ball is kicked and it's loose on a bounce. Williams leaning in, Banker's too strong. Williamson had his rebound stripped away to Thomas.
That's one way to get it going offensively when you can't hit shots, get an easy look. They did there, but Antonio Williams, usually a very good finisher, couldn't get the job done.
Baseline and a block. Whittington got a little bit too close to Jordan Butler as Tanner gives you our keys to victory.
Well, for Norfolk State, contain Walker. You saw what he did 2 nights ago, 36 points. He can snap at any moment and then carry that momentum. Just got your first Division I win against Hampton. Continue that here tonight. For Kent State, right back to Jalen Walker. This young man, like I just mentioned, can go off at any time. If he gets hot, he's nearly unstoppable. And then don't let the ball stick. Started off great against Detroit. Not so much here. Unselfish play is the key for this Kent State team.
And I guess the best way to contain Walker is it's easy to do that when he's not in the game. As he is right now, he's not right now. Alex Long has the first bucket of the game.
Not sure how much longer Walker will be on that bench if this offense continues for the Flashes.
Williamson down the lane, and he gets denied by Alex Long. Kelly coming back, feeds behind to Long, Banker good, and the foul.
Alex Long is the one presence down low in this Spartan team that really makes his presence known. 6'8", 225, big kid, showing you how athletic he is. First gets the block, and then watch him run the floor. The big fella gets rewarded. Mitch Peterson gonna foul him. Do it with some authority. That's a strong young man. Go to the line and don't look now, but Norfolk State off to a great start. They can go up 5-0.
Well, and you know what? If Robert Jones was concerned about any kind of a hangover effect, remember, Norfolk State and Hampton are rivals, and that was an emotional win for the Spartans our last time out, but you'd never know it because in the first 3 minutes of this game, they played great defense, and they lead the game by 4.
No question, they have had much more energy in these first 3 minutes.
Peterson baseline right, leans in, and that is short. Whittington trying to get the second chance point to go, but he's fouled in the process.
The Flashes have got to be more patient on offense. Trying to force a lot of shots at the rim that really aren't there. There's another example of it. Peterson triple teamed, but luckily Whittington right there for the putback, and he's at the free throw line where he has struggled mightily so far this season.
Golden Flashes, a near statistical impossibility coming back from that game on Wednesday night, as Walker a big reason why that result turned out the way it did. Hitting a couple of huge threes and free throws as well down the stretch as KSU rallied from 8 points down with 90 seconds left and ended the game on an 11-0 run. Walker setting a new career high with 36 points in that game. Whittington hits both free throws here.
Walker went in a 9-0 run by himself late in that game against Detroit, and one at the basket, knocked down the free throw, then hit 2 triples. He was really the sole reason why the Flashes could escape with the W.
On the short end early here. Whitley out front with Williams on him. Goes inside the arc with 10 to shoot. Lost the handle, and it's scooped by Walker on the run. A 3-on-2. Williamson slams it with one hand.
That's Jalen Walker. We all talk about his scoring, but don't forget about him on the defensive end. He plays hard every play. He started that fast break.
His first assist after he did not have one in the Detroit game has tied the game, and after a stop, the Golden Flashes have it back. Finding Whittington, who posts up and trickles it off.
Surprised Jalen Walker didn't pull the trigger there. Had an open 3 from about 24 feet.
4-4 inside of 16 minutes remaining in the first. And an offensive foul is called. Williams takes the charge, but it was C.J. Williamson who led the charge on this fast break as he gets it from Walker. Tie game. Good defense from both sides to start it off. The Golden Flashes 1 for 5 from the floor, but find themselves in this tie game as you look at Robert Jones, 6-year head coach for the NSU Spartans. Always nice to beat a rival, which he and his club did their last time out against Hampton.
Doing a real nice job at Norfolk State. In his 5 years here, they have not been worse than 11-5 in conference play.
Walker spins that three-pointer out from in front of the bench, and that keeps it tied. Dooling draws the defensive assignment down on the baseline against Butler. Butler takes it back now, and against Dooling, shuffles his way underneath. 10 to shoot for the Spartans in a tie game. Little floater spins out on Alex Long.
Very good defensive effort from Kent State there. Not a single time did they let a Norfolk State player get past the primary defender and forced a pretty tough shot.
NSU has held Kent State to 1 for its first 6 from the floor. Williamson has that one field goal. Finds Dooling, but he misses on top of the rim.
Great pick and roll. Dooling got to finish that.
Still tied at the 14:30 mark. Shot clock again ticking down. Long squares up and finds his man down on the block, and the spin move reverse is left short by Butler. Offensive putback isn't there either, this time by Long.
Score is 4-4. I'm not so sure it's been so much of great defense as it's been pretty subpar offense on both ends of the floor.
3 for 15 to Tanner's point, the two teams combined. Avery adds to the futility, now 3 for 16, and finally a bucket, this time by Williams.
Jalen Avery's a kid, Ty, who's really got to get going. Wednesday against Detroit, 0 of 9 from the field, 0 of 8 from beyond the arc. His struggle is continuing, but his teammate there, Williams, pick him up.
Credited, though, by drawing up the game-deciding play earlier that day as we get a foul called. Hearing after the game from both Rob Senderoff and Eric Hout, associate head coach. Earlier that day in shoot-around, Avery came up with the play that if the Golden Flashes were at the line late in a tight game following a miss, what they would run, and wouldn't you know it, that's exactly what happened.
He's an extension of the coaching staff.
And that's exactly what they both said, that you would never know he had that rough game offensively, Tanner, because it just did not affect him.
That's why he's so special. 0 of 9 from the field, 3 points, but played 37 minutes, 5 assists, and per usual, not a single turnover. He never flinches. I don't care what type of game he's having. He has the same attitude on the court, and that is something you really can't teach.
Talking about, again, Jalen Avery. See him on the baseline right now, who has been running the point for the Golden Flashes, and what a luxury that is for a coaching staff to not have to worry about that in a guard-heavy league like the MAC. And a lot of experienced guards this year.
Absolutely.
1 point game with 13-20. Avery fakes this time and finds Roberts. Long three.
It's only his second made three of the season. Came into this one 1 of 13, but stroke is much better than that poor of a shooting percentage. Just a freshman. As time goes on, he'll get more comfortable.
Yet another assist for Avery. Had 121 of them last year. Get a foul as Whitley attempted the three. Looked like Frederick was a little close to him.
That's a deep three from Anthony Roberts. A good pass from Avery. Put it right in his breadbasket so he could step into it. That's always key for any shooter who's struggling. If you can step into your shot, get your momentum going towards the rim, percentages will rise. And then on the other side of the floor, King Frederick, not a good foul. Following Whitley, who's only a 22% three-point shooter. Not a guy you want a strong challenge out beyond the arc.
Spent part of his career at Robert Morris before finding his way to Norfolk. Hits the first free throw. And now looks to get the third after missing his second.
He's coming off a pretty good game against Hampton. 20 points, 9 rebounds, played 40 minutes. That one went into double OT.
Two out of three for him. It's 9-7.
Spartans continuing that full court pressure. Hasn't bothered Kent yet, but as time goes on, we'll see if they can handle it.
Avery brings it up against Thomas. He's been quiet, speaking of Thomas. Back door, Avery got it shot past him, and then he tried to save it and didn't get it there. Leads a run out for Branch, who has tied the game at 9.
I don't know how Armani Branch got that one to fall, but the 6'7" redshirt freshman, nice move. Slice into the hoop.
Well, approaching the 12-minute mark of the first. Walker open, will not miss many of those.
That'll upset Coach Jones. He's the one guy you cannot leave, especially after the last 2 ball games he's had. Got to have a hand in his face at all times, or he will burn you.
His first home bucket of the season is a 3-ball. Rebound snagged on the offensive glass by Branch in front of the KSU bench. 11:30 on the clock. It's a 3-point Kent State lead.
It's got to be exciting for Walker, playing his first home game here, the senior. Spent all 4 years here at Kent State, and finally this year getting a chance to shine in front of the home crowd.
Down to 10 on the 30. And another, this time it's a block. I thought for sure Quez Crawford was going into the offensive foul mode. He's averaged 29 points per ball game over his last 2, and he's got a big 3 early here, Jalen Walker. Three-point ball game with the Golden Flashes of Kent State out on top. 11:15 to go. So far, the numbers produced by the two sides. Small sample size. Shooting percentages ever so slightly coming up. Rob Senderoff always on the lookout for those rebounding numbers.
Sloppy first half so far by both clubs. No one been able to pull away yet, but if the Spartans want to, it'll probably start with this young man at the free throw line. It's Nick Thomas, their leading scorer, almost 15 per game. And like Jalen Walker, if he gets hot from beyond the arc, look out, 40% shooter. So he can at any time.
split of the pair keeps it a 2-point game. Golden Flashes in today's game, 4 for 11. That leads to the 36%. NSU 3 for 10. And the Golden Flashes have predominantly been a much better first half team this year. They've gotten out to some big leads. Whittington somehow got that ball but couldn't finish from inside the circle.
Flash is continuing to force shots up. Don't know what the rush is. Triple teamed every time they're down on the block. Once you get it, kick it right back out and then get some more ball movement. So far they've been trying to attack with 15 plus seconds left in the shot clock, and it hasn't been working.
And a foul that'll go against the Spartans.
Foul's going to go against Stephen Whitley. It's a tough call. Just going for a loose ball. And Antonio Williams. You see that a lot in basketball. If you take a fall, you take a seat in the floor, more times than not, you'll get the call.
And a hold is called now away from the ball. Coming into today, these 12 and 10 points not included, the Golden Flashes have outscored the opposition 290 to 226 in the first half. That's an average halftime score of 41 to 32, and they'll add 3 more to the total in this first half. Pitt stepped out.
That made shot allowed Kent State to get their offense set, and that's what they need to do more of, drive and kick. No need to force it down low if it's not there. Great play by Antonio Williams, and don't look now, but Jalen Walker just getting started.
Well, he now has 2 threes in the first half, and the Golden Flashes have themselves a 5-point lead as Robert Jones takes a timeout, sending the Golden Flashes into their huddle. 5-point game, and you can see Jones emphatically pointing up at the video board. Obviously, the play that was being shown, but coming to us from Norfolk, Virginia. Small enrollment of 5,300, but it's been around a while in the MEAC. Flashes have seen a couple of MEAC teams so far. The Mid-Eastern Athletic League, I should say the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.
Spartans picked to finish 3rd in the MEAC, and they're studying them on film, appear to be better than their 4-5 record. Got some pretty decent athletes. Haven't been able to put it together, but a team not to be taken lightly. Oh my.
Wow.
Oh. That's good defense, better offense. We talked about it in the opening. He's unstoppable when he starts to get in rhythm.
They wave that bucket off. It's an offensive foul. Robert Jones doesn't like that call.
One thing the coaching staff at Kent State needed to see more from this team was bench production. Well, Jalen Walker, not a bad option. 6 men off the bench, but don't worry, he'll be playing starting minutes very soon. Impossible to get that kid off the court when he's making shots like that. He's got half the Flash's points here tonight.
If it were just NSU versus Jalen Walker, it would only be a 1-point game, 10-9. Here's Williamson to Whittington, and he draws the foul, and the bucket will count.
Yeah, they're going to give it, I believe. It's a great look from C.J. Williamson. He's their Swiss Army knife. We've seen it in the last couple games. He's been playing better and better. And how about the patience from Philip Whittington? A little pump fake. Drew the defender in the air as we take another look at it. And then use the rim for protection. Those long arms able to finish right above Alex Long.
Another trip to the line for Whittington. Trip to the bench for Butler.
Whittington really struggled so far this season from the free throw line. Coming into this one, 8 of 21. That's 38%. The shooting stroke is much better than that. Not sure if He hasn't adjusted to the max center with the drop back or what, but he has got to improve because he'll be at the free throw line quite a bit this season.
Williams slices his way up the floor, and Walker misses the runner, but NSU knocks it out.
How does that work? Jalen Walker hits an incredible step back three, fading away, and then misses a two-footer. And he knows it. He'll get it back.
Got the inbound in the corner. And at the opposite corner, it's Roberts. Taken now by Williamson at the top. Roberts working against his opposite number. 15 to shoot now as Walker has it. Pitt on him. And a walk. Flash's turnover will give the ball back to NSU as KSU currently doubling them up 20-10. Sixth first half turnover by the Golden Flashes. We're trying to win for the fifth straight time since that Friday night home loss to Liberty. 9 minutes to go in the first half. Kelly, good step back with Walker leaning. Couldn't get it to go.
Well, they've continued to play solid defense. They have not given the Spartans a single good look.
Walker left that one a little wide to the left. And a steal by Williams and a loop play and a missed dunk by Williamson, and the Golden Flashes continue to have issues on the top or near the rim here in this first half.
If that would have gone down, Sports Center top 10 off the steal, plays the ball off the referee, and a beautiful touch by C.J. Williamson. He finishes that 10 times out of 10, and somehow the ball rattles out of the rim. Oh, what a play that would have been. And they compound it with the Jalen Walker foul.
But limiting NSU to 3 for 12, 0 for 4 so far. 40% of the Spartans' points have been free throws.
Look at this defense, extending pressure well beyond the three-point arc.
Pitt drove and got the foul on Frederick.
I'd like to see that one again. Not sure where the contact came from. Maybe the body. It appeared to me that Frederick was vertical. But they'll send Mustadi Pitt to the free throw line. Take another look. Yeah, it had to be body because I don't see much contact there in the arms.
Spartans now 5, make it 4 for 9 from the line. Pitt trying to get them back to 50%. And it's a 9-point game. Coming upon the 8-minute mark of the first. Peterson finds Williamson left wing in motion. Airballs it badly. And a dangerous save underneath their own bucket, but long. And now Pitt and the Spartans will try to cut into this 9-point deficit. Spinning on the baseline, going into the paint and putting it in is Long.
He's the one guy on film that really sticks out. Very comfortable playing on the block. Got a lot of moves. Nice spin move there and the teardrop touch from the 6'8" senior. The Spartans have to go back to Long a little more. They really struggled on offense, but he so far has looked good.
Peterson left wide open, but he can't hit the easy one. And a foul on Dueling will send us to a timeout. With 7:16 to go, this nice little touch by Alex Long has brought the Spartans to within 7. 7-point ball game with 7 minutes and 16 seconds to play in the first half. Jalen Walker continues his assault on the career points list at KSU, up to 17th now. Arrived on the scene in Las Vegas and dropped 20 points on SMU. He's been so good against teams from Power 5 conferences. A 1-1 here. I mean, in his last 4 games against P5 opponents, he's scored 22, 25, 23, and 24, an average of 24 points against the likes of Vanderbilt, Oregon State, Texas, Penn State. And let's not forget what he did in that 2017 Mid-American Conference tournament, especially the final against the Zips when he scored 30, a previous career high, and which stood until Wednesday night.
I'd say he likes the spotlight. The brighter, the better.
Shooting foul at the other end. Yeah, I mean, when's the last time he really didn't show up for a big game? Yeah, you'd have to really look.
Not one comes to my mind. Every time Flashes do play a Power 5 school in a big-time game like the MAC tournament, Jalen Walker shows up. And again, just like we talk about Jalen Avery, reliable at the point guard position, it's nice to have a guy you know you can count on in those big moments, like Walker.
Williamson not able to hit the first. He'll have one more in a 5-point game now.
And that's infectious to a guy like Jalen Walker, who's absolutely fearless. And that can spread, that can be contagious. And we've seen that at times from this team. No matter who the opponent is, this year Vanderbilt, they go on the road and they'll compete, and they took down that SEC school.
Well, they'll have 2 more chances. 2 weeks from now, they'll have a chance against an ACC club in Louisville, and then the week after that in Pac-12 country against Oregon State.
Team who the Flashes beat.
Yeah, that'll be the end of a 3-game series. 2 games in Corvallis, 1 game here. $11 to shoot for NSU. It's on a modest 5-1 run. And an offensive foul.
Flashes continuing to bother the Spartans on the offensive end. They have not gotten any type of flow going. There's Walker, ready to check back in.
Six and a half to go in the opening 20 minutes.
Great.
Good look. Whittington will not miss that short range opportunity.
Love C.J. Williamson's game. I think he's an all-conference type player. Great roll, though, by Whittington. That's an easy finish.
Hit around the rim and off. Tapping the rebound away. Walker chases it into the corner. Forgoes the 3 in favor of the shovel off to Avery, which he can't hit. How about that?
It's a great look from Walker. Unselfish, and a good cut by Avery. Just gotta finish that one.
Long off balance, doesn't get the bounce. Walker will start another break. Avery spots it up, and it just hasn't gone down in the last 3 halves. And Walker gets fouled.
Good take by Jalen Walker. He's knocked down 3 triples, but not settling. Getting to the hoop, and how about C.J. Williamson? Great over-the-head pass over the extended arms of the Spartans. Whittington, he'll do the rest.
Flash is now 3 for 6 from the line. Walker with his first miss of the season.
You mentioned it, Ty. Jalen Avery has got to see the ball go through the hoop. Really struggling right now. The senior, who started out red hot, had a couple 20-point ball games has really hit a wall here these last couple halves. But he'll stick with it. Just gotta get something going.
Chris Ford gets the kind roll, and NSU back to within 7. We approach the 5-minute mark of the first half.
Spartans kind of in a matchup 2-3 zone here.
Whittington from Walker will trigger the baseline jumper and knock it down.
It's a great example of taking what the defense gives you. Don't respect my jumper. 15 feet out, Whittington showing you the touch.
Pitt could not get it across in time.
He has been so valuable, Phil Whittington. Filling in for Danny Pippen. He has earned his starting role. He has earned every minute. Just a moment ago, an easy dunk off the pass from his teammate C.J. Williams, and that time, all him.
Whittington against Ford. We'll go to the line.
That's just a case of getting position. It's tough for anyone to stop a guy at Whittington's size of 6'8" when he's catching the ball only 3-4 feet away from the basket.
This is, by the way, the Golden Flash's largest lead, so any points added on will continue to set a new mark in that department. Roberts back in. Williams is out.
Mentioned it a couple times in the broadcast, especially when MAC play starts. Whittington gonna have to improve from the free throw line. He's really the one post presence on this Kent State team, and they've been willing to get it to him. Gotta knock these down, and struggles just continue.
Remember when the Golden Flashes had the big 7-footer a year ago, De La Rosa, anytime they'd go to the ball in the post, conventional wisdom would have said just foul him, but you couldn't do that because he was an 80+% free throw shooter.
Great point.
Whittington will have to try to adjust. Williamson almost got a running start on the left baseline and drew the foul.
Good aggressive play from C.J. Williamson. Could have settled for the corner 3. Saw the alley, took it to the hoop. Go to the free throw line. He's a very good athlete, very comfortable, controlling his body in the air. Kid who's well traveled in his college career. His 4th stop here at Kent State, and he's really found himself a home.
He has had a good year at the line so far, and hits the first one here to make it a double-digit game for the first time. Right around that 90% mark during the season. 2 more here makes it an 11-point game.
He's coming off I wouldn't say a bad, but not one of his best efforts against Detroit. 1 of 3 from the field, only 4 points, fouled out in just 14 minutes.
A little bit too close for Roberts. He'll be called for the foul. Golden Flashes are over the limit. So free throws when you come back. But right now, Golden Flashes ahead by 11. The Golden Flashes on Black Friday went into the old venerable Memorial Gym and gave those Vanderbilt fans a taste of how they do it in the MAC. 77-75.
Team effort from start to finish. Jalen Walker's first game back. Absolutely loving it. The Flashes going on the road and shocking an SEC opponent. And they have looked great ever since.
Under Rob Senderoff, you see it's just the latest. Ever since that first game of his tenure in Morgantown, Rob Senderoff, that 10-point win over Bob Huggins and WVU. He has been a good coach against teams from the Power Five, and as we mentioned, 2 more opportunities, if not more, this year, factoring in possible postseason matchups. But for an encore, then the Golden Flashes storm back from 8 down with a minute and a half left on Wednesday.
Courtesy of Jalen Walker. Went on a 9-0 run by himself. It just shows you what they were missing. They were playing well without him, but with him back in the lineup, very dangerous team right now in the MAC. Them and Buffalo, maybe the top 2 contenders to get to the tournament.
2 free throws make it a 9-point game, and the Golden Flashes are forced into a travel.
Really been interesting to watch Kent State play this season. The style of play has been very different than what we've been accustomed to the last few seasons. No more Jimmy Hall, no Adonis De La Rosa or Danny Pippen down low, so it's been much more guard-oriented. And they've got the guards to do it. Antonio Williams, Jalen Avery, Jalen Walker. We'll see Coach Senderoff playing those guys all at once, and it's worked so far.
Inside of 10 to shoot. And a steal. Whittington in the middle looking for help. Lobs it to Avery. He'll just fire against Ford. He's too strong, and Kelly the rebound. Hustling back and a little bit too far. Branch beyond his reach.
Even after that miss, you see Coach Senderoff clapping his hands. He's encouraging Jalen Avery to keep shooting the ball. He believes in this guy. He's been his starting point guard now for 3 years. There will be no wavering confidence in him. Continue to shoot, and eventually he will break out of this slump.
Whittington with a double team, almost a triple team, had it stripped out.
See Antonio Williams asking for the ball, and he's right. Whittington catches that ball in the middle of the zone. They're collapsing on him. Antonio Williams was wide open in the far right corner. Just didn't see him.
5 to shoot. Williams, he's been quiet. It was only his 4th shot. He's knocked one of them down.
If you told me Kent State at the 2-minute mark would be shooting 33% for the ball game, I would not have expected them to have a 9-point lead, but they have been terrific on the defensive end. But how about the offense there from Steady Pitt?
Sophomore makes it a 7-point game at the 2-minute mark. Avery, another crack. That one a little closer, but still not good. He's now 0 for 5. Steady Pitt coming back, couldn't get that one to go, and it's knocked out by NSU with 1:45 left.
He's a guy who was really a spark plug off the bench in their win against Hampton. 17 points. Trying to get to the cup here. Good contest from Philip Whittington. Went vertical. And when you do so, it would give you the benefit of the doubt. There was contact there, and Pitt wanted the call, but Whittington, good defense, no blood.
Left wing Walker finds Williamson as he threads the needle, and the ball's tied up. Give it to NSU with 1:30 left.
Tell you what, I won't go on the stat sheet, but what a pass from Jalen Walker. Set it tight, threading the needle. I thought he was looking for Whittington. Instead found Williamson sneaking in a crevice in that zone. Just couldn't finish off the play, but Walker Impressive so far. Early sample size, only his 3rd game, but has not forced the action. He's played within himself, and he really has been looking to get his teammates involved.
Hit across the center line. Williams is on him. Goes across the court to Thomas. Thomas walked.
He has been quiet in this first half. Nick Thomas came into this game as their leading scorer. He's only gotten 2 shots off. Got a point, knocked down a free throw, but no question about it that coming into this game, he was the focal point of this Kent State scouting report. And they have really done a nice job.
43% field goal shooter has missed his only 2 in today's game. The Golden Flashes continue to misfire. Less than a minute to go. 7-point game. Golden Flashes on top. Pitt goes to Branch, who fires and misses a 3. And as you could get the ball back, Walker flies into a 3-man front, dishes it off to Williams, who dances around the defender and scores.
Silky smooth. Great move from Antonio Williams. The Euro step, more of a side step there. Eludes the defender and no one left. An easy lay-in for the junior.
That was Chris Ford who we went right around. 10 seconds to go. Pitt behind the back and fires. Airballs it to Walker. He'll let it fly from just beyond half court and leave it short. And at the end of 1, the Golden Flashes have themselves a 9-point lead despite shooting just 10 for 30 in the first half. They have held NSU to 6 for 21 and a 21-point half. Kent State's first half dominance this year continues. We'll talk about it when we come back.
Spartans haven't been able to get much offense going in the first half. Only 21 points, but a bright spot has been Alex Long, the senior from Clinton, Maryland. Came into this one averaging 8 points per game. He's already got 6 in the first half. And when he's got the ball down on the block, that's where they've been most comfortable. They've been in no type of rhythm here in that first half. But you see the big fella running the floor, getting rewarded. They've got to get the ball to him more in this second half. Kent State Golden Flashes, it's been Jalen Walker picking up right where he left off. 36 points a few nights ago against Detroit, and the senior still in rhythm. That's something the Spartans cannot do, is leave that man open. They've done it twice and they've paid for it. That continues in the second half. No chance for the Spartans to remain in this game. The senior from Detroit, Michigan has had it rolling so far in this young season.
20 minutes to go. It's the Flashes by 9. Second half is yours when we come back.
Boundless innovation. It's what happens when disciplines collide at Kent State University. It can bring science, fashion, and medicine together to create a liquid crystal fabric that helps diabetic patients monitor their condition. Purposeful collaboration like this happens every day at Kent State. Purpose is what powers us, inspires us, and drives the innovation we create to change our world. Purpose is what powers us. The innovation we create to change.
Getting set to start the second period. Thailander Tanner Castora with you, our outstanding crew alongside. On this Saturday afternoon, the Golden Flash is starting to go into a portion of their schedule that will resemble a football schedule. They just start playing for the next few Saturdays only. Jalen Avery triggers and misfires on the first shot of the second period.
Interested to see what type of adjustments the Spartans make here. Started off in a zone. They clearly want to force Kent State to settle for outside jumpers. They got what they wanted there, but really the problem has been the offensive end. Good start, a good look there, and there's that guy we just talked about, Alex Long. He's got to get the ball more. That time it was by accident. Got the ball himself off an offensive rebound. He was their leading scorer the first half with 6. Give him 8 now.
And the Spartans come away with an easy steal near the baseline. And then Kent State has Williams hustling back to strip it away from Long.
Great play from Antonio Williams. Philip Whittington caught sleeping there. Alex Long appeared he had an uncontested dunk. No one home, but Williams flies in, and great job there to get all ball. Save 2 points.
48 seconds gone by, ran out of time.
They've got a 10-second violation and now a 5-second violation. This Kent State team from the opening tip has been very focused on the defensive end, and it's probably going to have to continue here in the second half. They didn't shoot the ball well either, only 33%. So defense has to remain a focal point of the plan moving forward.
Avery finally sees one go down after an 0 for 6 start. That's great ball movement.
Exactly. You knew that one was going to fall. Said it before, we'll say it again. If you can step into your shot as a shooter, as Mitch Peterson led Jalen Avery beautifully there, more times than not, that ball's going to fall through the net, and that's a big one for Avery. He needed to see it go through.
And now he's got a steal on the loose ball. Trying to stay hot. That's 2 in a row.
How many times have we talked about it, Ty? A second half performer, and he is doing it here again. 2 quick triples, and suddenly the Flashes lead is 13.
And it started with defense. 2 minutes gone by. A 13-footer rattles in, and Thomas has his first field goal of the game at the 18:01 mark. Jalen Avery has his first 2 field goals, and both of them from distance. Timeout on the floor with 18:01 to go, and Avery's been the man so far in the second. It's an 11-point game. Jalen Avery has hit a couple of early 3-pointers. Guide the Golden Flashes to this 11-point lead in the 3rd meeting between these 2 teams. 9-point win last November for Rob Senderoff.
Spartans staying in that zone, extending it out 25+ feet. Still trying to force Kent State into long distance shots just like that one, but it's not the result they're looking for.
Antonio Williams has his 3rd field goal and his first 3, and the Golden Flashes have 7 of those, and now lead the game by 14.
Kent State only shooting 37% from beyond the arc in the season, so you can understand why Norfolk State wants to force them into those type of shots, but I don't care who it is, what team you're playing, you cannot give a Division I player that much time to set their feet, get their arms set, and fire at the rim. Poor defense there from the Spartans. They got the shot they wanted, but it didn't close out and execute properly. They paid for it.
Leaning in and short of the mark with a foul called was Whitley.
Stephen Whitley, 6'3", 225. Really plays like a bulldog. Undersized height-wise for a guard, but built like a linebacker. He's not a guy you want to see down low in the post. Bodies just bounce off him.
2:45 gone by. And Whitley adds another one. Avery out front for the Golden Flashes. Peterson is 0 for 2 so far. It's Walker with 7 seconds, got bumped in the lane.
Interesting concept here from Coach Jones. If you watch the start of the possession, in their 2-3 zone, down in the middle of the paint, they've got Nick Thomas, who's a 6'2 guard. And I think the point of that is they want those corners covered, but they're giving up a lot of size down low.
Misfiring here. Spartans hustling back. Lost the dribble, but right to Long, who spins. Hangs and banks it short, but yet another foul is called.
Not sure why the Spartans have not made it more of a point of emphasis to get the ball to Alex Long. Whenever he's touched the ball, good things have happened. He's really been their best player in this one. They've got to continue to find ways to get him involved on the offensive end because the Flashes have really had no answer for him.
Alex Long to shoot 2 for Norfolk. Substitution for Kent State, number 1, CJ Williams.
Long out of Maryland will have one more free throw as the Golden Flashes substitute.
There's that lineup for Kent State. Very small. Avery, Williams, both 6 feet. Walker only 6'2", but it's a lineup that Coach Senderoff has experimented with, and so far it's been working.
Avery was way out on that 3, missed it. Now bringing the rebound back is Williamson. He lost it, but was fouled.
That's what's so nice about playing these small lineups. CJ Williamson essentially is your 4. So he's going to get most of the rebounds with this personnel on the floor, and when he does, he can push it coast to coast. When you play 3 guards and then 2 forwards who are athletic as Williamson and Dooling are, you've really got a bunch of athletes on the floor who can push the tempo at any time. Fast break points will be of plenty if Senderoff continues to stick with this lineup.
There have been times this year where the Golden Flashes have gone as small as they have in recent memory.
And that's a sign of a good coach. Coach Senderoff is not sticking to what he's done the past couple of years. He's playing to his team's strengths this year, and he's got new personnel. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that. It's just they don't have the size down low this season, and they are adjusting.
Alex Long continues to have himself a phenomenal game. Now he's got 12.
Got to get it to him every time down. Only averaging 8 points a contest. I just mentioned it, 12 here tonight. Good things have happened when the seniors got the ball in his hands.
Deflected off Williamson. Whitley coming back, and a great feed to a skying Alex Long. Throws it with some authority.
Coach Jones must have someone mic'd up to our broadcast because, boy, they have really made it a point to get the ball to Alex Long these past couple of possessions, and suddenly they're back within 8.
Avery feeding Dooling, and he reverses as he changes hands.
That's why people get so excited about B.J. Dooling. At that size, 6'7", 235, so uncanny to be able to finish the body control in midair.
Knocked out. Whitley touched it last. Every time the Spartans think they've come back. Golden Flashes have an answer. That's exactly what happened right here. Still a 10-point game in the second. Ten-point ball game. KSU on top of NSU early in the second half as we take a look at what the Spartans have done so far in the young season.
Game against Michigan. Only scored 13 points in the first half. It's a very good defensive club, though, in the Wolverines. And then got their first Division I win just a few nights ago against Hampton in double overtime.
People have Michigan right back in the Final Four this year.
John Beilein is one of the most underappreciated and least talked about coaches in America. Year in, year out, Michigan, solid.
Roberts awkwardly caught that pass, came down with it, and then went right back up for a three, his second.
Well, came into this one 1 of 13 from beyond the arc. Tonight, 2 of 2.
And 5 straight for the Golden Flashes since NSU made it an 8-point game. Foul on the Golden Flashes as Butler drove in.
How about the freshman, true freshman? Tough catch, didn't even take a dribble. Fired that one up, that's not easy to do. Didn't even draw iron. Anthony Roberts out of the Detroit area. Very excited about this young man around the program. Can play the point guard position, can play him at the 2. He's got good size at about 6'4", and that shooting touch continues to grow. He's only gonna get better. For a young player like Roberts, more times you see the ball go in the hoop, your confidence grows and grows, and you'll get more minutes if that's the case.
Whittington gets a touch on the block. Pivots and fires and scores another one.
What a move. What a move from Philip Whittington. He's had himself a quietly very nice game. 10 points, 6 boards for the junior.
That was his 4th field goal in 7 tries. From the top, Thomas can't hit, and saved by Whittington. Shoveled off to Roberts. And C.J. Williamson misfiring. Walker got the rebound, went up and missed, and a foul is called. Or is it? Yep. Bucket interference, count the basket.
How about this post move from Whittington? Using 2 dribbles and the step through, finishing with the right hand. And then they call basket interference there in Walker. How about that? 6'2", 6'3", rising with the trees. Tried to throw that one down. That's why people love Jalen Walker so much. He only knows how to play one way, and that's full speed, 100%. He gives you nonstop effort on both ends of the floor.
KSU, it's got its largest lead, 15 points, 7 minutes into the second half. $19 to shoot. Pitt got it in, coming back, and a hold is called. That was pretty obvious. Butler got held.
That's the one thing about going small. It's nice on the offensive end and when you're in transition, but a few times you'll get mismatches. That's the case there. C.J. Williamson trying to guard Jordan Butler, 6'6", 245. It's tough to keep him out of the paint if he posts up.
Pitt misfiring and a Kent State foul.
There it is. Williamson having a lot of trouble trying to box that young man out. He's a good rebounder, 5.5 per game. That's really his role on this team. A couple nights ago against Hampton, he had 9 rebounds, 5 of them offensive boards.
On the baseline, Peterson able to keep it in play. Now Williams to the line and down the lane, shovels it back, stepping back. Walker never really had the grip on it, so he doesn't pull the trigger. Instead goes back to Williams, baseline left. Foul was called. I think Jalen wanted to let that baby go, but he never really had it.
Nick Thomas, leading scorer for the Spartans. He'll take a seat. He has been flustered and frustrated all night long. Saw it a moment ago. Walker, fantastic defense on the senior. Couldn't even get a shot off.
Peterson on the short hop from Williams, drives in and left it short. Rebound coming down to Whitley. 15-point Kent State lead. Trying to win for the 5th straight time. Deflected pass toward the sideline off the Golden Flashes.
We're nearing the 12-minute mark. Norfolk State not even at the 40-point mark of fantastic defense here from Kent State. I'll tell you what, this team wasn't sure how they would play. Knew they were undersized, but it has not affected them because everyone on the floor guards their position, keeps the players in front of them. And right as I say that, Butler gets a good look at the basket but cannot connect.
Roberts flying up the floor for the Golden Flashes, going all the way and lays it in. I don't think he was ever going to let go of that ball from the minute he pulled it down at the other end. And NSU has taken time. Sends us under the 12-minute mark, and the Golden Flashes have finally pulled away.
How about Philip Whittington, the transfer from USC Upstate? great patience down low on the block. He's really the sole big man on this team, and he has had himself a great start to this young season. The array of post moves that he has, hard to stop, can finish with either hand. And also what you didn't see in that package was a 15-foot jump shot he knocked down in the first half. And he's also the best rebounder on this club. So moving forward, especially conference play, Philip Whittington will be a big key to this team's success.
2 rebounds away from his first double-double as a Golden Flash. 17-point difference. And dueling fouls. That bucket should count. Let's see.
I think it will. What a finish.
There's Whitley again. Yep, 1 shot to come, so potential 3-point play.
That strength. I wouldn't be shocked if a couple times Norfolk State football coaches haven't asked this young man to come out. That's BJ Dueling, who's got some strength of his own, knocking Whitley to the floor, but somehow muscles that ball up to the rim and it'll drop.
Can't finish off the retro 3. Flashes keep a 15-point lead.
If you're Kent State now, you're up 15, nearing the 10-minute mark. No need to rush an offense. Use most of that shot clock unless you get a great look. Keep it simple.
Roberts, his first miss. He is able to hustle back and create the stop, but then he knocks it out of bounds. But that's nonetheless good hustle to get back.
It's Whitley again. Someone has got to take ownership of this offense for the Spartans, and looks like the redshirt junior, Stephen Whitley, is going to try and do it. He's been assertive here in the second half, but Alex Long is...
Tell you, Roberts is having a nice game. This
Yeah,
is
he
about
is.
as active as I've seen him.
And it starts in the offensive end. His shots have been falling, and clearly he has picked up the pressure on the defensive end. It's going to be hard to keep him off the floor. Kent's got a lot of good guards this season. Not enough minutes to go around, so when you get your time on the court, you better play hard. The freshman's done so.
And another continuation. That bucket will count for Pitt.
Well, not only are the Spartans scoring, but doing it with the clock stopped. Anytime you're trailing, that's the type of result and recipe you need to come back.
That's 2 misses on what would have been 3-point plays.
Went to the free throw line Thursday night against Hampton over 40 times. Here tonight, 22. They've knocked down 15 of them.
Williamson lost the handle. Leaning in was Long, and out of bounds it goes. And now NSU keeps it as the Golden Flashes might be getting a little complacent.
Good defense there from Mitch Peterson. He was really on a lone island, but the bigger Alex Long went vertical and bothered him just enough that that ball trickled off the rim.
New shot clock. Elbow jumper is good for Chavis, and it's an 11-point game. Peterson was harassed and then got it to Avery, who was fortunately across the blue line. 10 minutes to go, so we're halfway through the second period.
It's a big possession right here. Doesn't feel like it, but just an 11-point ball game with an eternity left. Kent's got a little complacent on the offensive end. Want to get a good look here.
Peterson trying to take it away. It's tied up and give it back to NSU. Just as well for the Golden Flashes, the shot clock would have been 1 had they had the arrow.
If you want to know why Mitch Peterson plays as many minutes as he does, it's because he makes plays like this. Down the line, if this ball game tightens up and there's a jump ball, it'll be Kent State's possession, and we can look back and thank Mitch Peterson.
Just like that, it's an 8-point game as Chavis hits his first three.
Chavis has only played 6 minutes in this ball game, but he's got 7 points. He's been a jolt off the bench.
Another miss under the basket for KSU. And NSU can really make things interesting this time down. And it's Jamerson, who makes it just a 6-point game.
The blink of an eye, we've got ourselves a ball game. It was 17 points just 2 minutes ago.
52-35, and now 52-46 on the 11-0 run over 3 minutes. Peterson ends it.
Big time shot. Mitch Peterson 0 of 4 from the field. 5 from the field before that shot. No wavering of confidence there. Pure stroke.
Williams with a good block on Mustadi Pitt.
Things starting to heat up on the offensive end for both clubs. It's about time. It's Chavis off the bench. He knocks down a triple. And then Mitch Peterson, anything you can do, I can do better. Big time shot for the Flashes, who badly needed to stop the bleeding.
Hit up high on the left. Spins down the lane, stripped away and tapped right to Walker on the run out. On a bounce skip to Avery, he is fouled hard to the deck.
What a pass from Jalen Walker. He made that look easy, but I promise you that is not. That's cross-court, one-handed bounce pass. Right on the money, in stride. Jalen Avery catches that one.
It's like he's standing down at Tannery Park in Kent, skipping flat stones across the Cauga River.
And that's the one thing that scouts have really wanted to see in Jalen Walker's game. They all know he can score, but can you get others involved? How good are your passing skills? Well, I'll tell you what, if you're making a highlight reel of a Jalen Walker scouting special, you've got to put that one on the film. Jalen Avery, the beneficiary, and he'll head to the free throw line. He puts the Flashes back on top by double digits.
And how demoralizing must that be, Tanner, for an NSU squad that just ago and seemingly had all the momentum. They look up now, it's an 11-point game.
That's a sign of a veteran team led by Jalen Avery, Jalen Walker. They've seen this before. Two seniors who have played together for 4 seasons. They found a way to get the Flashes back on track, and that lead a healthy 11 points.
In the media zone and out of bounds. Davis stepped out. That sends us to a 7-minute, 45-second media zone timeout. Ball was loose, Whittington tapped it, and that started the run out to fouls. Flashes by 11. Flashes had a 17-point lead trimmed down to 6 moments ago, but back to 11 it goes. Another good outing for Jalen Walker. He's got 12. Averaging 29 in his first 2 games. That number will dip a little bit, but there's a lot of balance on that KSU scorecard today.
How about 4 assists for Walker? It's a season high.
A couple of steals. 10 to shoot for KSU. Walker fakes and now drives, skipping into the lane, lay it up short. Another close range miss. This might be a 20-point game if KSU would have knocked down a bevy of the shots like Walker just missed. They've had a lot of those today.
I have to say, I am shocked that Jalen Walker did not pull the trigger. Had probably 10 feet of space, no one around him. Usually that ball is in the air before you can blink, but decided to take it to the hoop, and you said it, Ty. Flashes have really struggled finishing around the rim. I'm not sure if that's so much Norfolk State or just lack of focus on Kent State's part.
Jalen Walker, I should say Mitch Peterson. Wow, that's a really, really touchy foul that was just called on Peterson. And I'm with you, Mitch. I didn't see that either, looking at it from a couple of angles.
Especially as physical as this game has been.
Yeah. Thomas hits the first.
He's got to get going in this last 7:02. 76% free throw shooter, but has not made an impact today. Only 4 points, make it 5. Someone has got to lead the charge for the Spartans. They've been hanging around. They've just got to get over the hill.
A 9-point KSU lead. Whittington to the lane, lays it up and in with a right hand.
Boy, is he comfortable with his back to the basket. That's really where he's at his best. Knows how to field a defender, finds his spot on the floor, used the dribble to get to where he wanted to go, and that hook shot is absolutely effortless.
Good move to the basket by Thomas here.
Finally some life out of their leading scorer. Maybe those 2 free throws bring him back to life.
Trading buckets, though, not what they have in mind. They need a couple of stops. 6 minutes to go in regulation. NSU trying to get back to 500. KSU trying to start 7-1. Jalen Walker has made it a 12-point game.
That's the Jalen Walker we all know and love. You give him a glimmer of daylight, that ball's going up.
Back behind on the missed 3 by Jamerson.
4 of 6 from beyond the arc. And that's poor defense from Nick Thomas. You've got to know the type of shooter Walker is. You can't give him that much space. I don't know what he's sagging off for, but again, for by my count, the 3rd time now, and make it the 4th. They've gave him too much space and nearly paid for it again.
Williamson fights away the offensive board. 5:20 left. Flashes by a dozen.
Smart from Jalen Avery. Could have swung that ball earlier at the corner to Walker. Instead waited, run off some more clock. Walker attacking there and out of bounds, no foul call.
Kent State keeping it. Oh, wow. This is, by the way, a MEAC officiating crew. Flashes took Mid-American Conference officials with them to Norfolk last year. Whittington is good right hand.
What a pass. C.J. Williamson. It was a tight angle to fit that ball into a rocket sidearm. Whittington caught it, did the rest. C.J. Williamson, that kid really sees the floor.
Missed layup by Butler. Flash is trying to take command again.
No need to rush here. Use that shot clock. Got a 14-point lead.
Stripped away, and now it's a one-on-one. Thomas bumped by Walker on the way.
Got to know situational basketball. I know Jalen Walker, he's a little antsy. First game back at home this season, and he just knocked down a triple, but this state of the game, up 14, 4 minutes and change left. You've got the lead, let's work the ball around. Run that shot clock down to single digits, and then you can attack. Way too early there.
Third trip to the line for Thomas. Trying to keep his team within striking distance. Exactly sure what this slight delay is, if it's a substitution. They want Whittington out and Frederick in.
Frederick back in with 4 fouls. Doesn't have to play careful though. Only 4 minutes left. Whittington not in any type of foul trouble. Frederick that is play his game.
4.5 to play in regulation. KSU's lead is back to 12. Avery left wing to the baseline, closed off. Shot clock at 10. Antonio Williams down the lane to his right. High banker hits off the window.
What a move. Antonio Williams, isolation ball, shot clock at 7, takes it himself, and the kiss off the glass. Maybe the dagger.
Near side Kelly, down to the top. Walker closes Whitley off. To the elbow it goes. Foul line extended, no good. Ahead to Williams from Williamson, and that one-hand stick makes it a 16-point game.
There are the benefits of playing small. C.J. Williamson, the rebound to a streaking Williams. With a 43-inch vertical, he'll do the rest, and showtime again.
Back to back. And it's the largest lead, 18.
These are the type of moments where it's so nice to have such good guard play from 3 guys on the floor. Norfolk State trying to pressure you, has to turn the ball over, but not going to happen. Kent State far too experienced.
Oh, now another very close call will send us to a timeout on a foul by Frederick, but Flash is now comfortably ahead by 18. 18-point game. Going into the last timeout, there was a little bit of, I don't know if pushing and shoving is the right word. I don't know what Danny Pippen is doing out there. He came from the end of the bench. He's redshirting this year, and I just have no idea where he's going. And it almost looked like that kind of incited most of that whole thing. But I don't think the Golden Flashes were very happy with the call against Frederick, but you just can't come off the bench like that.
No place for that.
If you're in uniform, you're going to find yourself in all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that technical wasn't called. Danny Pippen not even playing in this ball game, probably not going to play this season. And he was the main guy instigating that whole situation.
Thomas living basically at the free throw line, has another one coming up.
Flashes really did a nice job on him today, averaging 15 a game. He's going to find himself close to that mark. He's got 11 now, but it's come a little too late. Credit to Kent State. They never let him get into any type of rhythm. 0 of 3 from beyond the arc. Came into this one shooting 7 per game, over 40%, but not the case this evening.
7 of those 11 at the line. 16-point game. Avery trying to run some time. Woo. Nice find by Williamson, and Whittington is fouled. And it's intentional, so that'll be 2 shots and the ball coming up. As we get a look at the Golden Flashes schedule coming up, they are going to be playing Saturdays the rest of the way, the 8th, the 15th, the 21st. That's it. Those are the remaining home game, or I should say the remaining non-conference games. We need to look at that last foul to see. Confirm it was a foul of the intentional variety, which means not a play for the ball. Everybody will retreat behind Whittington.
After that, I guess, scuffle a moment ago, the last thing the refs want to see in this one is things get out of hand. I'm not so sure about that one. It's a good hard foul, but
I agree.
Again, they're being careful. Don't want anything to get out of hand. And the struggles continue for Whittington from the line, but how about that pass from C.J. Williamson? This kid has some type of court vision at 6'5", 6'6", guard skills, can handle the ball, knock down the three. He really has a chance to do something special this season for Kent State.
2.5 to play, 17-point KSU lead. An illegal screen on Williamson. He should be done, I think. Nope, is that his 4th, or is it? Yeah, that's going to be number 3. It was Frederick who picked up his 5th a moment ago.
Kent State going zone now. Protecting that arc. Benny. Spartans have to get back in this one if they caught fire from 3-point range, and see if Thomas can get it going here.
His 3rd field goal of the game makes it a 14-point game with just over 2 minutes left. Here is Whittington. He draws a foul and is going back to the line.
This Flashes team has been so fun to watch this year. So unselfish. At times the ball has stuck, but for the most part, it's been very clean, crisp passing. You hit the open guy, give up a good shot for a great shot. And there's another example. Antonio Williams could have taken that floater from 5 feet out, instead drops it off to Whittington, who gets a point-blank look. They'll head to the line. And Kent State, if they continue to play like this, I know Buffalo's the favorite heading into the MAC, but they're going to give themselves a chance. If you've got 5 players on the court who can all score, who are all unselfish, don't care who gets the credit. That's team basketball, and you can hang with anyone.
Back to 15. It's a nice pass, and it results in a layup for Alex Long.
He's been a bright spot. 8 points a game. He's doubled that here tonight. He's got 16.
Williamson will dish it off, or try to Walker, who bobbled it, ran it into the corner. Shovels it back, and now Williams is fouled. That was a nice find.
More clean, crisp basketball from Kent State. Spartans are trapping them, but it has not bothered the Flashes whatsoever. They have found the open man every single possession here in these last couple minutes. They have gotten great looks, and didn't look like it in the first half, but they've got over 70 points. This Kent State team, very disciplined, very well coached.
Personal foul number 5 on Stephen Whitley. He's done for the day. Antonio Williams will shoot 2 with just under 90 seconds left.
Will be very interesting to see what Coach Senderoff does moving forward. Right now, Williams is in the starting lineup, but we all know Jalen Walker. He's back. He's a senior. He's averaging 29 points per game through these first 2 ball games. It's really going to be up to Walker. Is he okay with coming off the bench? He's going to play starter minutes regardless of if he's in the starting lineup or not. He's going to get plenty of tick. But is he willing to come off the bench? That's been a problem so far for the Flashes in this season. They haven't had great bench production. Walker has certainly given them that.
Well, one of Rob Senderoff's mentors, Jim Christian, who led the Golden Flashes to a couple of NCAA championships, tournaments appearances, always used to say that starting was overrated, that who finishes the game, that's more important.
And it's going to be Jalen Walker. It doesn't matter if he's in the starting line, it comes off the bench. You're right, he's going to finish the game. He's the go-to guy in this team. It's going to be up to him moving forward. Does he want to come off the bench? Is he okay with it? And so far, it seems like he has. He's embraced that role. And that's not to say anything negative towards him. Coming off the bench is no different than starting if you're playing the same type of minutes. But so far, it's worked for Kent State. Antonio Williams, the JUCO transfer from Indian Hills, has played great in that starting role along with Jalen Avery. And so far, it looks like it'll lead them to a 7-1 start.
What's coming up for NSU? Well, on the road until the first of the year.
The Ramblers, Final Four appearance a year ago.
The play resumes. It will be a 12-point KSU lead with 1:15 left.
It's been a long couple minutes here.
NSU took that timeout after that quick score. Golden Flashes will just have to try to get it in, and we'll see if head coach Robert Jones elects to start the foul game or how he'll play it. Avery got it into Williams, back to
They're
Avery.
gonna foul.
And they are going to try to extend the game.
Flashes as a team, 72% from the line. Pretty good numbers. They knocked on a couple here. They'll put this one on ice.
Maybe Robert Jones thinking is because it's still a single bonus situation. Avery normally pretty good. And earns the second. Just over a minute. Flashes by 14 as Estadi Pitt left it short. On rebound though, and they'll get another look at it. It misses now from close range, but the third bucket goes down for the amazing Alex Long, who now is 9 for 15 with 20 points and 10 rebounds.
Coming out party for that man. Way above his season average. 20 and 10 tonight. He's only averaging 8 and 4. Gonna have to get him the ball. As this season rolls along, he has looked fantastic.
Phil Whittington still looking for one more rebound to cap a double-double. He's got 16 and 9.
A couple times now he's been stuck in that 9 stride.
Yes, he has. In and out on the second, keeps it a 13-point game, 45 seconds. Golden Flashes will get their 5th consecutive victory as Jones is turning this late few minutes into a personal highlight reel. 11-point game, Whittington underneath, shovels it back out. And a foul.
That's where if you're Whittington, throw that one off the glass.
Right.
Get that board.
Just 1/10 second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Golden Flashes have been averaging in the 80s. Williams could bring them within 2 of that number again. They won at 79-70 a year ago. It's going to be a little bit more lopsided the second time around.
Great defensive effort from the opening tip. And they've earned this victory. Who is this guy?
His name is Alex Long, and he's given the Spartans something to feel good about on an otherwise dreary Saturday. 78-67, and they'll dribble it out. 5 in a row for Rob Senderoff's Kent State Golden Flashes, and they start the season's second month the way they played most of the first month, with a lot of W's.
Team effort from the opening tip. Nearly 5 players in double figures. Leading the way, Philip Whittington, 16 points, 9 rebounds. And how about Jalen Walker? Another good performance, 15 points, 4 of 7 from beyond the arc, and 4 assists. You love to see that out of a guy who's known for his scoring. Here doing it with the passing. And then the defense for Kent State held Norfolk State to just 28% shooting in the first half. 21 points, led by 9 at the break, extended that lead throughout the second half, and the Flashes get it done here at home.
Golden Flashes have been averaging around 17 assists per game. They come down with 16 in today's game, so that'll be something Rob Senderoff is going to be happy with. He's got some more balance in today's game. Those points really spread out, and Rob Senderoff joins us now from downstairs. And Coach Sendy, 5 in a row for your squad, and just a very workmanlike home victory this afternoon.
Yeah, you know, they're a really good team, well coached. I think they're going to be in the top 2 or 3 in their league, which they are every year. You know, they're physical, they're tough. It was